Your bite-sized daily roundup of the biggest news from the world of film. This is the Daily Reel with Van Connor.
Good morning, it's Friday, February 26th. Roman Polanski's Frantic was released on this day in 1988, Booty Call came out in 1997, and the world learned that ancient Egyptians had push-up bras when Gods of Egypt opened today in 2016. Sharing the birthday festivities today are cult action icon and John Wick 3 villain Mark Dacascos, Aquaman and Saw director James Wan, and a familiar face to 80s and 90s action fans, the one and only Bill Duke. Here's today's news. Star Wars sequel trilogy actress Daisy Ridley has clapped back at Texas Senator Ted Cruz after the Republican politician seemed to throw shade last week on her character of Rey. Cruz, who recently came under fire for abandoning his constituents and travelling to Cancun whilst Texans were caught in a deadly blizzard that caused state power outages and killed over 30 people, caused a stir on Twitter when he jumped to former MMA fighter turned actress Gina Carano's defence, following her recent dismissal from the franchise. The disgraced Mandalorian actress was fired by Lucasfilm due to her abhorrent comparison that being a conservative in today's culture was akin to being Jewish during the beginning of the Holocaust. Cruz, a noted conservative and Trump sycophant, said of the firing, Gina Carano broke barriers in the Star Wars universe. Not a princess, not a victim, not some emotionally tortured Jedi. She played a woman who kicked ass and who girls looked up to. She was instrumental in making Star Wars fun again. Of course Disney cancelled her. The comments have been widely interpreted by fans to be in reference to the women of each trilogy, Carrie Fisher's Leia Organa, Natalie Portman's Padme Amidala, and Daisy Ridley's Rey Skywalker, respectively. Yahoo Entertainment's Kevin Polowy brought the tweet to Ridley's attention during a recent interview, and she couldn't help but throw a little shade herself, sarcastically calling Cruz's response hilarious, before stating that she was, quote, very happy to be an emotionally tortured Jedi who doesn't leave their state when it's having a terrible time. Oof. Burn. Daisy Ridley can next be seen opposite Tom Holland in Doug Liman's YA novel adaptation Chaos Walking, which drops on the 5th of March.
I'd rather not do this now.
Yeah, me too.
Why did you hate your father? Do you have something, a cowl or something you could put on?
In news that probably won't shock you, accused sexual predator Brett Ratner's Milli Vanilli biopic has been dropped by Millennium Media. The X-Men Last Stand director made waves earlier this week as he seemed to be prepping a comeback, directing his first feature film since 2014's Dwayne Johnson-led dud Hercules. Ratner's been lying low for the past 6 years due to a swath of sexual assault allegations by multiple women, including actresses Olivia Munn and Natasha Henstridge. His hiring by Millennium Media to create his long-gestating passion project about the controversial lip-syncing pop duo was met with furious condemnation by the Time's Up movement and the wider public. Now, Millennium Media and Ratner's Rat Pack Entertainment production house have released a joint statement that, quote, the project fielded multiple competitive bids, and a group of private equity investors have emerged that are fully financing the movie to begin production shortly. Just who these private investors are remains a mystery, as the statement didn't say. It did, however, state plainly that Millennium was no longer involved, and that, quote, there will be no additional comment. If this story sounds familiar, it's likely because this isn't the first time Millennium have run into this issue. 2 years ago, they hired the similarly accused Bryan Singer to helm their comic book adaptation Red Sonja, before backlash forced them to let Singer go as well. For now, it appears the Milli Vanilli biopic is a go, but the real question is, if it lands, will the public be as forgiving as Millennium Media?
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Resident Evil director Paul W.S. Anderson has signed on to helm an adaptation of In the Lost Lands, a short story by Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin. The forthcoming dark fantasy tale will see Anderson direct his wife Milla Jovovich, alongside Guardians of the Galaxy's Dave Bautista. The story will follow a sorceress, Jovovich's Grey Alice, who's hired by a queen to help her fulfill her desire to become a wolf. Sent to the ghostly wilderness of the Lost Lands, Alice and her guide, the Drifter Boyce played by Bautista, must outwit and outfight man and demon in a fable that explores the age-old adage, be careful what you wish for. No release date for In the Lost Lands has been set.
I've made many mistakes in my life, but that wasn't one of them.
Oh, but it was. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win, or you die. There is no middle ground.
Out on digital today is the horror franchise reboot Wrong Turn and the documentary I Walk on Water. You can catch Bo Burnham's critically acclaimed 8th Grade and the Son of Bigfoot sequel Bigfoot Family on Netflix, along with the Hindi adaptation of the best-selling thriller The Girl on the Train. The comedy Chinese Puzzle arrives on Mubi, and Amazon Prime are adding the Joel Kinnaman thriller The Informer. Over on Freeview, meanwhile, you can find Empire of the Sun showing on BBC Two, A Few Good Men and Hannibal on 5-Star, 21 Jump Street on ITV2, the 2014 version of Annie and David Ayer's Fury on Sony Movies, and Nutty Professor 2 The Clumps is followed by Upgrade and Punisher Warzone on Film 4, while the Sky Cinema and Now TV premiere for today is Lee Daniels' much anticipated The United States vs. Billie Holiday. That was the Daily Reel for Friday the 26th of February. Have a great weekend, stay safe, keep it cinematic, and we'll see you Monday.
The Daily Reel is a Candystore production, presented by Van Connor and written by Calvin Prickett. All information is correct at the time of writing, and source links are in the description for each episode. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe on all good podcast platforms, or ask Alexa to install the Daily Reel skill for your morning flash briefing. Follow the show on social at Daily Reel Pod, and we'll be back every weekday. Until then, keep it cinematic.